Welcome to our show, College Briefing. Today, we take a moment to reflect on a somber milestone as Texas A&M University marks the 25th anniversary of the tragic campus bonfire collapse that claimed 12 lives. This event serves as a reminder of the importance of safety and the lasting impact of such tragedies on communities. While the bonfire tradition is still remembered, discussions about reviving it have been put to rest by the university's leadership, prioritizing the memory of those lost. Next up, we delve into the world of driving in 2024, where frustrations seem to be at an all-time high. From the disappearance of basic road manners to the confusion of parking apps, drivers are feeling the heat. The article highlights how modern challenges like traffic congestion and potholes are making even the simplest trips a hassle. It's a call for a return to basic etiquette and improvements in road conditions to make driving a more pleasant experience once again. Finally, we explore the ongoing debate surrounding coeducational versus single-sex schools in New South Wales. As the government pushes for co-ed institutions, parents are divided on the topic, weighing academic benefits against emotional safety. The key takeaway? It's not about the gender of the schools, but rather fostering a culture of equality that supports all students. Join us as we unpack these pressing issues further. Please stay tuned for more detailed content. Associated Press reports on the upcoming 25th anniversary of the tragic bonfire collapse at Texas A&M University, which claimed the lives of 12 students during the construction of a massive log stack for the annual bonfire event. This catastrophe occurred in the early hours of November 18, 1999, just a week before the bonfire was set to be lit. Witnesses described the eerie sounds of creaking timber before the stack fell, leading to a devastating loss that forever altered the campus community. In remembrance, the university will hold a ceremony at the exact time of the incident, underscoring the ongoing commitment of students and faculty to honor the victims and the legacy of the Aggie family. Telegraph shares a humorous yet relatable take on the frustrations of modern driving, highlighting the myriad irritants that plague today's motorists. From the widespread failure to use turn signals to the inefficiencies of parking apps, the author laments the lack of common courtesy on the roads. The piece also touches on the chaos of navigating roundabouts, the prevalence of potholes, and the blinding brightness of modern headlights, all contributing to a driving experience that often feels more stressful than enjoyable. The writer's candid reflections resonate with many drivers who share similar grievances about the state of contemporary motoring. The Sydney Morning Herald delves into the ongoing debate surrounding coeducational versus single-sex schooling in Australia, particularly in light of recent government decisions to merge single-sex schools into co-ed institutions. While many parents express concerns about the potential impact of these changes on their children's education and social safety, the authors argue that the quality of education is influenced more by the culture and values of a school rather than its gender composition. They contend that both co-ed and single-sex schools can foster environments where students thrive, provided they prioritize equity and challenge gender stereotypes. Ultimately, the discussion emphasizes the importance of focusing on educational outcomes rather than fixating solely on the structure of schooling. The Toronto Star, in Ohio, a new initiative is allowing public funds to flow into Christian schools, igniting a fierce debate about the separation of church and state. Advocates argue that this funding is essential for expanding educational options, particularly in rural areas where demand for religious schooling has surged. The program, backed by the Center for Christian Virtue, has allocated millions in construction grants to religious schools, with critics claiming it violates constitutional principles by directly funding religious instruction. The Ohio Senate spokesperson dismissed these concerns, framing the initiative as a means to empower parents and provide them with choices. As the movement gains traction, it reflects a broader trend across the United States where public money is increasingly funneled into private religious education. The Toronto Star, this year has been dubbed a super year for elections, marked by a significant backlash against incumbents globally. From the US to Europe and Asia, voters are expressing their discontent with sitting governments, driven by economic struggles and a pervasive sense of disconnect from political elites. In a striking trend, incumbents have faced removal in 40 out of 54 elections in Western democracies since the pandemic began, highlighting a widespread dissatisfaction. Political analysts note that inflation and economic distress are major factors fueling this wave of anti-incumbent sentiment, as citizens feel their needs are not being met. The phenomenon is evident in countries like Britain, where the Conservative Party suffered its worst electoral defeat in over a century, and in South Korea, where the ruling party was ousted in parliamentary elections. The Toronto Star, in a thrilling college football matchup, North Carolina's Amari Hampton showcased his talent with a career-high performance, leading the Tar Heels to a 31-24 victory over Wake Forest and securing bowl eligibility. Hampton's impressive 244 rushing yards and a crucial touchdown late in the game highlighted his resilience and skill on the field. Despite a strong effort from Wake Forest, who managed to close the gap after trailing, turnovers proved to be their downfall. Coach Mack Brown praised Hampton's work ethic and humility, emphasizing the importance of his contributions to the team's success. As the Tar Heels continue their season, they look to build on this momentum, while Wake Forest faces challenges ahead in their quest for bowl eligibility. Associated Press, in a thrilling showdown at Ames, Iowa, Rocco Becht shone as he led Iowa State to a decisive 34-17 victory over Cincinnati. Becht showcased his dual-threat capabilities by throwing for a touchdown and rushing for another, finishing the game as the leading rusher with 48 yards on 7 carries. The Cyclones, who improved to 8-2 on the season, surged in the second half, capitalizing on Cincinnati's struggles, including a staggering 13 penalties. Stavo Klotz was instrumental, catching a pivotal 26-yard touchdown pass that shifted the momentum in Iowa State's favor. With this victory, the Cyclones ended a 2-game losing streak and kept their playoff hopes alive. Associated Press, in a high-stakes SEC clash, Carson Beck proved his mettle by throwing 2 touchdown passes and rushing for another, guiding number 11 Georgia to a 31-17 win over number 6 Tennessee. After a rocky start to the season, Beck's performance was a breath of fresh air for the Bulldogs, who now stand a solid chance at a college football playoff berth. He connected with tight end Oscar Delp for 2 touchdowns and demonstrated his athleticism with a 10-yard scramble for a touchdown. Despite Tennessee's early lead, Beck's leadership and the Bulldogs' resilience culminated in a 92-yard drive that sealed the game, marking Georgia's 8th consecutive victory over their rivals. Associated Press, Jack Lane led Idaho to a narrow 31-24 win against Weber State, throwing 3 touchdown passes, all to Mark Hamper, who had a standout performance with 187 receiving yards. The Vandals, ranked number 10 in the FCS coaches poll, have been on a roll, winning 4 straight games. Lane's 74-yard touchdown pass to Hamper late in the game was a highlight, showcasing the duo's chemistry and ability to capitalize on defensive lapses. As Idaho continues to build momentum, Weber State's struggles deepened, marking their 5th consecutive loss. With this victory, the Vandals solidified their position in the Big Sky Conference, showcasing their potential as they head towards the postseason. Associated Press reported that number 15 Texas A&M bounced back from a recent loss with a commanding 38-3 victory over New Mexico State. Quarterback Marcel Reed showcased his skills by throwing 2 touchdown passes and rushing for another, leading the Aggies to an impressive start with a 17-0 lead by the end of the first quarter. Texas A&M dominated the game, outgaining New Mexico State significantly and maintaining control throughout. Coach Mike Elko praised his team's performance, emphasizing the importance of handling business against a lesser opponent as they prepare for a crucial upcoming game against rival Texas. In another thrilling matchup, Associated Press highlighted Abilene Christian's historic triumph over Tarleton State, clinching the United Athletic Conference title with a nail-biting 35-31 victory. Maverick McIver was instrumental, throwing 4 touchdown passes, including a last-minute game winner to Sam Hicks. This victory not only secured the conference title but also marked the first time in program history that Abilene Christian qualified for the FCS playoffs. The Wildcats demonstrated resilience and determination, with McIver completing crucial passes under pressure, showcasing the heart and skill that led them to this momentous achievement. Associated Press also covered South Carolina State's dominant performance against Morgan State, winning 54-7 to secure the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference title. Backup quarterback Ryan Stubblefield threw for 2 touchdowns, while the Bulldogs' defense was relentless, scoring multiple pick-sixes that stifled any chance of a comeback from the Bears. South Carolina State established a commanding lead early in the game, and despite a brief injury to their starting quarterback, they maintained control throughout. With this victory, the Bulldogs are set to face the SWAC champion in the upcoming Celebration Bowl, further solidifying their successful season. Associated Press reports that South Alabama secured a thrilling 24-22 victory over Louisiana Lafayette, showcasing a dominant first half that saw Gio Lopez scoring 2 touchdowns and Kentrell Bullock adding another. The Jaguars were ahead 24-3 at halftime, but the Ragin' Cajuns staged a fierce comeback in the fourth quarter, narrowing the gap with a touchdown and a failed 2-point conversion attempt that sealed their fate. Lopez's impressive performance included 285 passing yards, while Louisiana Lafayette's quarterback Chandler Fields contributed with a late touchdown, but it wasn't enough to overcome the deficit. In another exciting matchup, Associated Press highlights Arizona State's 24-14 win against number 16 Kansas State, marking a significant moment in their Big 12 campaign. Sam Leavitt shone with 275 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, leading the Sun Devils to a commanding 21-0 halftime lead. Despite Kansas State's attempts to rally, including a late touchdown, their multiple turnovers and missed opportunities hindered their performance. The Sun Devils capitalized on these mistakes, maintaining their position in the conference title race as they prepare for a crucial game against BYU. Associated Press also provides insights into the Texas high school football playoffs, detailing the Class 1A six-man area playoff pairings. Teams like Booker and Whiteface are set to clash in the regional matchups, with games scheduled across various locations. The excitement builds as teams vie for advancement in the playoffs, showcasing the vibrant and competitive spirit of high school football in Texas. The detailed schedule reflects the dedication and passion of young athletes aiming for glory on the field. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn on the TV screen, see the world unseen. China's on the news tonight, history in the spotlight. Scroll through my phone again, find out where to begin. Stories from the east to west, learning from the very best. News in China every day, learning in a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Ancient tales in modern times, mountains high and river rhymes. Culture rich in every town, golden driving never down. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word. China's story always first. News in China every day, learning a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word. China's story